I had a conversation recently with Etiquette. So forgive me if I'm pronouncing the name wrongly. In fact, I think chances are that I have butchered the name. Anyway, if you haven't heard of her before, all you have to do is check the Instagram handle Etiquette with Etty. And that Etty is Eti, the short form of her name. And I guess it makes sense because there are probably other guys and girls out there like me who are going to butcher the name terribly. So it's Etiquette with Etty. Now, they are in the business of corporate image branding. Well, not necessarily corporate image branding per se, because they're much more about refinement, class, personality, etiquette, basically. But some of the add-on services that they do include corporate image branding, and then once in a while they handle some trainings on communication presentations, how to put your best foot forward, and that might or might not extend into things that are sales and marketing related. So basically, Etiquette with Etty is that one-stop shop that is concerned ultimately with the refined persona. And so the meeting that I had with her was to find out a couple of things, who their target audience is, the sorts of trainings that they run, because I made the call and we had the meeting to see if there's a meeting point, if there's a nexus between what it is that they do and what it is that I do, and how we can run a couple of sessions together. Now, the meeting turned out to be a very good one, and we're able to discuss some particular trainings that we're going to come up with in the future, or particularly for the month of December 2021. That's when we're going to run the first two sessions. And I figured I'd hop on the show just to let you guys know what it is that's been going on with my life, even though this is non-wedding related. Okay, well, anyway, this is non-wedding related, but basically this is just some of the new stuff that I'm going to be up to in the month of November and for the near future. Now, for those of you who are regular listeners of the podcast, I guess this comes as no surprise, since you're aware of the previous trainings that I did with these events and sessions that I anchored with the Tech Hub in Abuja. What are they called again? Gosh, I keep forgetting that name. Excuse me. Seed Builders, Seed Builders Tech Hub. So, sales training that we did with Seed Builders Tech Hub and then with Party Planning NG. So, for those of you who are long-term listeners of the podcast, I guess you're not surprised that there is another one in the mix, something else in the mix. But anyway, so apart from keeping you guys updated as to projects that I'm currently working on, why is this important? You will remember from the much older episodes, for those of you who are long-term listeners, the material that I did with Party Planning NG when we came up with the whole thing around professionalism, personal communications, and networking, and specifically why these things are important and how we as wedding industry professionals can use them to build our brands and our businesses, grow our bottom line, basically. So if you've been listening for a while, you know that I've been all on this kind of jazz for a very long time about why we need to be professional and we need to be service-based professionals and stop trying to hustle our way through things and try to freestyle our way through things. And so this collaboration with Etiquette with Etty is just an extension of that part of my gospel, which is, let's stop freestyling about this. We need to be on point. We need to be refined service-based professionals and put our foot forward, because I think ultimately that's the best way to start growing our businesses, moving our businesses forward over the long term. You can freestyle your way through things, yes, especially those of you who keep going on and on about being authentic and all of that. So there's nothing that says you have to sacrifice your authenticity. In fact, you will find that depending on who it is that you hang out with in this sort of space when it comes to personal development and things like that, you'll find that it's about taking what is uniquely you and merging it with a template or with a plan that you can relate to, and that gives you a clear vision and path forward for how it is that you're going to grow yourself and you are going to grow your business. So that's what it is about. So this whole thing of being authentic doesn't mean that you should be a hippie and throw everything to the wind. So yeah, so that's it basically. Keep your eyes peeled. Going to be more trainings around the corner, and I'll come back on the podcast after we're done with those sessions in November to let you guys know how things went, the sorts of things that we discussed about, whether they can be particularly tied into the wedding industry or not. Because I believe that even when we hang out with people from other businesses, other industries, we can always learn new stuff by taking a multidisciplinary approach. So I'll be sure to let you guys know how things went on. But beyond that, if you think you may be failing in certain areas when it comes to personal comportment and etiquette and things like that, then this is an Instagram handle that you might want to check out, and that is Etiquette with Etty, so that you can learn things here and there to what's the word? Forgive me, I'm not in this business, when it comes to personal etiquette, so I'm not sure what the proper terms are. I don't want to use a term that is demeaning or that falls short. But basically, if you want to learn how to put your best foot forward, then it's something that you ought to pay attention to. I know that wedding photographers probably won't be bothered with this because somehow we just believe that we have to come up with these creative personas and have interesting hair and interesting personalities, and we have to break the mold, and that is how we're going to brand and promote ourselves. But I guess for the wedding planners amongst us and the decor people, this is training, the kind of training that should come in handy. So I'm not necessarily saying you should take one of her courses, but just have a look at the Instagram handle, the several handles that she's affiliated with, because each particular arm of the business has a separate handle, and you might be able to learn some good things there. So the courses that we're going to come up in November is around the refined professional, and this is something that is going to be much more corporate based, much more corporate training around these sorts of issues. So yeah, that's pretty much. Had a meeting, it went well. There'll be new trainings coming up in November. I'll let you guys know how it goes, and I'll give you guys the full gist. And let's remember that part of the gospel. It's important. We are service-based professionals. Remember that. We are service-based professionals. So this whole thing of, you hustling, you freestyling, you being your authentic self and all whatnot, it's not necessarily the way forward. It might work for a couple of people, like what's his name, Andy Warhol, and who else, and Michael Jackson, and who else, all these people that want to try and you cook up these interesting personalities, and that's how you move your business forward. But it's not a path for everyone. Let me put it that way. It's a lot easier for you to just man up or woman up, realize that this is a business. We're service-based professionals. There is a template. Let's come up with a successful template, one that uniquely aligns with us, our personality, our goals, our visions, and let's run this playbook. And that increases our odds for making a killing over the long term. So yeah, that's it for today. For tomorrow, I'll be off of all the detours, and we can get back to the client conversations, because I think last week was full of detours on the recordings, but I think before last week we were on conversation frameworks. So yeah, we'll possibly get back on that tomorrow. I just need to find my list of questions that I used to conduct the podcast. I'm sure it's lying around somewhere. Hopefully my son hasn't torn it up or thrown it in the bin. Anyway, so I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you for listening to the Sales for the Nigerian Wedding Industry podcast. I'm your host, Abuja-based event and wedding photographer, Tabishima Ayede. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow.